Are you owning this thing? Not this thing. Timmy with the intro. And we are talking about owning who you are. Like in The Lion King, how he says, remember who you are. I have honestly been not doing this, been living a little bit of a lie, as it were, but it's just like primarily not owning who I am to the fullest extent that I could. I have mainly been kind of just saying what it is that I do, and some of the things that we've done and how I can really help people and do that kind of thing. But I haven't really been owning it. I've just been saying it, but doing it in a way that was very like, oh, this isn't me. It's like, it felt very foreign to me. And because I wasn't owning it, I realized that it's actually not helping people as much as it could be by me doing that. I'm actually doing them a massive disservice, because if I'm not fully owning it and being fully authentic, how am I supposed to? I mean, a big part of my job is help other people do the same thing. A big part of my craft is doing that. And yeah, up until like I had a big chat with my wife last night, because it was like we'd say all this stuff and do everything. Like I'd be saying it, but I'd always be like, yeah, it feels like fake. It feels like I haven't done these things. Like I don't fully own it. But then when we talked about it last night, just something about the way she said it and some of the stuff we'd been working through, it really allowed me to give myself that full certainty. And an interesting little note is that we are the only ones who give ourselves that ability to be certain, that full faith in ourselves, to own these things and to actually, what do you call it? Like to give yourself permission to like validate who you are and like the things that you believe and what you do. Zeke, come here. And yeah, so even going through some of the stuff has been pretty bizarre, and to even own that stuff is like, I'm actually now going to speak that stuff fully as like, yes, this is me. I can't shy away from it, or like I'm choosing not to shy away from it, fully owning who I am, some of the things that I've done. And it's kind of like a little exercise for me, because I'm working through this stuff in real time, as you guys are. I come to you as a man who is incomplete, who is fallible, who has weaknesses, but understands that in my weaknesses, God's strength is made whole. In my imperfections, God's perfection is realized. So with some of the stuff, just owning it outright business-wise, and this is kind of crude the way that I'm saying this stuff. I haven't really thought it through too much beyond the initial thought, but I'm fully owning the fact that I've been in business for like 6 years now. I have done very well for myself business-wise in industries that typically people wouldn't do some of the numbers that I've done and contributed towards, especially with my wife. I've been looking after my family for the last 4 years. I've been, 4.5 years, providing, leading, enjoying the journey, and doing all of that together, providing even if I didn't really fully realize how I was providing, be it financially, as well as like as a husband, as a father, if you consider that to dogs. This guy's over here, hiding in the bushes. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, look at him. All right. Yeah, and in the past few years, maybe past 2-3 years or so, 3 years of doing business together, we've done over $3 million, upwards of that, probably 3.5 or something. We've done big things by our businesses. We've had ripples in the industry already. We have, we've acquired property. We have and various different assets, have a pretty solid net worth that you'd classify as, no, I'm owning it. We have a multi-million-dollar net worth and also network. Billions of dollars in our network actually as well, and just have done some really cool things. Like we voluntarily made ourselves homeless twice, and we have gotten through those situations very well in economies that people would consider bad economies for getting for doing that kind of thing, real estate wise in Australia, and doing all of that. And yeah, we've done a bunch of stuff and done a bunch of cool things to be able to set ourselves up. We make a good amount of passive income, and my dog is pooping over there. All right. And we basically have done a lot of cool things, and we also have not come this far just to come this far. We have a lot that we are still called to do, and I realized that before I was rejecting these things, like we've talked about, because I was dulling, or like censoring a lot of the, not censoring, but like compartmentalizing a lot of the negative emotions that come with that whole journey. Like I've said before, the whole time I felt like I wasn't enough. I wasn't actually doing all these things. I wasn't providing a good enough life for my family. And all of that, and I was like stuffing that stuff down, I was suppressing that, and as a result I never really felt any joy or was able to really take it in during that period of time. All I felt was relief, even though I thought that was what joy was. But as a result of being able to own this now, I'm actually able to look back, go back to those situations in my mind, like bring my body to the physical state that it was in and change the story around it, and actually have these things to be able to own it fully, what I've done, Zeke, and what we're helping other people do as well. Oh, that's right, I haven't even said some of the other things, cool things that we've done that I'm owning, because it hasn't felt like me. I've always been like, no, it wasn't me, I wasn't that great. We have literally helped people, like our own clients, like double their revenue, build multi-six-figure businesses, scale to completely different lives that they never thought they could actually have, stop trading their time for money as much, and like really free their minds by way of these things, and actually have like the finances to go with that. They've built lives where they're just doing what they love and making great money doing that. And yeah, we've done a lot of cool stuff by way of that, helped a lot of people. I believe we already have changed our industries to a degree as well. I'm just holding him up because his butt has some, I've got to go wipe his butt in a sec. But we have fundamentally changed some really core aspects of our industries, and we are continuing to do so as well. So yeah, just owning that stuff, the stuff that we've done, the stuff that we do for other people. We've helped people on their walks with God. We've been able to do all of these fantastic things, and now I'm able to relive that stuff from this place of owning it and being able to fully feel everything from that period of time, from those periods of time where I normally was dulling everything. So actually being able to go back and feel that stuff to the fullest degree is actually allowing me to be grateful for it. Because before, when you're rejecting all of the negative emotions, as well as rejecting your own accomplishments, because part of me definitely didn't want to be complacent and like settle and just rest on those accomplishments, so you reject them. But when you reject them, you're actually not fully being grateful for them. You're not really accepting what God's given you. It's even like my wife and I were talking about this today. It's like sometimes we're not even, it's like we won't pat ourselves on the back, or we think that we can't pat ourselves on the back for just following through on something that we said we were going to do. Like if you said you were going to go for a run, for example, and you go for that run, it's like we can get in our heads about, we don't need to accept that accomplishment, like can't be. It's like, yeah, of course, well, you said you were going to do it. But I find that we do it with the intent more often than not to keep ourselves honest and keep going forward and like not get complacent. But in doing that, we're actually not being fully grateful for all the great things that we've been given, like the ability to wake up every morning, to breathe, to walk, to have that certainty in life, that we exist as far as we know. What am I holding? I'm holding my little puppy here because I need to go wipe his butt. So I'm just going to hold him like this. But we basically have done all of these things, and to fully be grateful for it is really necessary to actually be able to continue to progress in a way that's enjoyable, and that we love and is more fulfilling, but also has a greater impact. Because I know this to be true. If you're not grateful fully for all the things that you've achieved and the way that you've done everything, you can't build that much. It is limited. And we might think it's a weakness, especially as men, to be able to accept that we've done cool things and to be able to talk about them openly and share that to inspire others. We might think that like, we're told a lot of things that, like, no, you got to be humble, like, don't have an ego about you and that kind of thing. But these things are conflated with like actually celebrating achievements. They're actually different ways of just saying, hey, don't celebrate your achievements and don't be grateful for what you have. And as a result, like begets like. So if you're being ungrateful, being like, hey God, what you've given me is not enough, you'll continue to not be enough, and you'll continue to not really build more from there or to the fullest of your ability. Because we're talking about, like, yeah, you can get by doing some of this stuff, but I'm talking about living and discovering your fullest potential. Not like part way, not sort of part of the way. And part of how I haven't been living that is by not accepting some of these accolades or these accomplishments that have been by the grace of God. So to be able to accept them fully now is something that I know is right for me to do. And I feel, honestly, like before doing this, I felt a bit silly, potentially even doing a live about it and that, or like documenting it. But I'm doing this because I'm paving the way for all of us lads. Turunga. All right. Let's look at some questions now. But that's all for the YouTube. Remember, this is all the art of being man. Catch you guys on the flippity flip.